You know, the entire universe is held together by this incredibly delicate, almost invisible balance of forces. But what if we could just nudge that balance? What if we could make one tiny change that unravels the whole thing? Well, today we're going to dive into a thought experiment so wild, so catastrophic, it literally tears apart the fabric of reality itself.
Just let that sink in for a second. Every single atom, the ones in your body, the ones in the air you're breathing, the atoms that make up the Earth, and even the ones in the most distant star. Imagine, all at the exact same instant. They each lose one single electron. What on earth would actually happen?
Believe it or not, there's a name for this particular apocalypse. It's called global ionization. It's the moment the entire universe suddenly gets a positive charge. And let me tell you, the consequences are immediate, they are violent, and they are absolute.
To even begin to wrap our heads around the scale of this disaster, we have to start small, like atom-sized small. Because we're not just talking about big explosions here. We're talking about the fundamental rules that govern matter just stopping.
Okay, so here's the crucial piece of the puzzle. Atoms are normally neutral, right? Their positive protons are perfectly balanced out by their negative electrons. But the moment you snatch one of those electrons away, that beautiful balance is gone. Instantly, every atom in existence has a net positive charge. And as you probably remember from science class, like charges repel violently.
And this is where it gets really crazy. This slide shows the sheer, mind-boggling mismatch between the forces at play. You've got gravity, the thing that holds us on the Earth, that holds planets in orbit, but then you have the electric force, and it is 10 to the 36th power stronger. That's a 1 with 36 zeros after it. Normally, this force is all balanced and hidden away, but with global ionization, it's been completely unleashed. And against that kind of power, gravity doesn't even stand a chance.
And that kicks off this insane chain reaction. The instant the electrons vanish, every atom starts shoving its neighbor away. Those chemical bonds, the very glue holding molecules together, rely on sharing electrons. Well, they're not just broken, they are completely overwhelmed. The very foundation of chemistry, it just stops working.
So what does chemistry failing actually look like? Well, for starters, water, H2O, can't hold itself together anymore. It just collapses. The elegant double helix of your DNA, it snaps apart into useless pieces. The proteins that make you, they instantly unravel. Solids, liquids, these things become completely impossible structures.
So, we've seen matter itself fall apart. Now let's bring this apocalypse home. What would any of this actually feel like?
Your body is made of roughly 10 to the power of 28 atoms. I mean, that's a 10 followed by 28 zeros. It's a number so big, it's basically meaningless. And now every single one of those atoms is violently repelling every single other one. An absolutely unimaginable repulsive force has just been switched on inside of you.
The result is as simple as it is horrifying. That internal repulsion, that electrostatic force, is so immense that every single cell in your body just explodes. Your blood, your brain, your bones, all of it is torn apart at the atomic level, all at the same time.
And here's the truly mind-bending part, the speed. The entire process of you being turned into an expanding cloud of superhot plasma takes less than 1 microsecond. You would be gone before a single nerve impulse could even register that something was wrong.
Okay, so that's the end of all life. Grim. But what about the planet itself? What happens when you apply that exact same repulsive force to an entire world?
Let's go back to that incredible imbalance of forces. The only thing holding all 6 sextillion tons of Earth's rock and metal together is its own gravity. We've just turned on a force that makes gravity look like a whisper in a hurricane. It's not a fair fight. The planet's fate is sealed, and it happens fast. The crust doesn't just crack, it explodes outwards. The oceans don't boil. The very water molecules themselves cease to exist as their atoms are flung apart. The entire atmosphere is just blasted away into space. The planet is completely undone, from the inside out, atom by atom.
And this is what would be left. It's not a burnt cinder or a field of rubble, but something much stranger. A diffuse, silent, rapidly expanding cloud of incandescent plasma, just growing to fill the space where our entire world used to be.
So, let's take this thought experiment to its final terrifying conclusion. We've destroyed molecules, we've destroyed life, we've destroyed planets. What does global ionization do to the stars and galaxies?
A star, like our own sun, is always in this delicate balancing act. Gravity is constantly trying to crush it inwards, while the nuclear fusion at its core is trying to blow it apart. Now, we've just added a colossal third force to the mix, this massive electrostatic repulsion, and it's also pushing outwards. That delicate balance is completely shattered.
And the consequences are, well, cosmic. Stars would either flare up violently or just be blown to pieces. Those huge clouds of gas and dust out in space, the nurseries for new stars, they could no longer collapse under gravity to form them. So star formation, the engine of cosmic creation, would just stop. Everywhere, forever. Over time, even entire galaxies would lose their structure and fly apart. I think this phrase from the source material is just perfect. The great story of our universe has always been about gravity pulling things together, clumping matter into stars and galaxies and clusters of galaxies. With repulsion now the dominant force, the universe would begin this slow, unstoppable process of unclumping, pushing itself apart into a uniform, featureless, and totally dead future. So, total, instantaneous, universal annihilation. Is there any good news here? Could there possibly be an upside to the complete and utter destruction of everything we've ever known? Let's see it.
Yeah, as this little summary makes brutally clear, there's really no upside. I mean, sure, you'd get a massive release of energy and technically a front row seat to some incredible new physics. The only problem is there'd be no one left to use that energy and no scientist left alive to appreciate the view.
And that really is the ultimate takeaway from all this. This whole crazy thought experiment just shows how ridiculously fragile our reality is. The familiar world we see around us only exists because of this precise, delicate balance of forces. It all works because every single atom holds on tight to its electrons. And it really makes you wonder, what other invisible threads are holding it all together?